Well, it seems I locked my phone in the upright position today. I guess that's okay. As long as I can get my phone to act right. Hello, it's me, Gabrielle. I know that it's been a little chaotic, but I'm here and I'm definitely going to show y'all how to finish this up, and hopefully it's close enough that I can do it up here where it'll be easier for me to show y'all than trying to stay near the board. But the first thing we got to do is put the needle back on, because I was using this large needle instead of a small needle. I have a story. I guess I've told on occasion parts of it, and we're going to see how well I do at telling this story verbally. But it is about a princess and a kingdom of dragon people. And a world a long, long time ago. There was all kind of creatures, great and small. There were humans and dragons and many other beings, great serpents. The dragon people were not bad. They stayed relatively in peace. The princess was going to be queen next, was learning her royal duties. She wanted to go play with her sisters. They were younger, they're much younger, and she loved to spend time with her sisters. She was the oldest, so yes, The obligations came, and when every time she could, she snuck off. They had an olive grove by a river that princesses love to sneak off and play. Climb the trees, splash their feet in the water. It was a dearly important moment in her life to be able to spend these times with her sisters because she was always so busy. Amongst her sisters, there was a little one, just very much younger. No more than 7 or 8. So she was carefree. The guards would chase her, and she would laugh. One day, as on many days before, the eldest princess snuck off to enjoy time with her sister. And this day she was with her youngest. And they ran around and they played. And a great serpent came. Older sister was in the tree, hiding. That's better. And didn't realize how close her sister got to the river. And there's a mountain near the river. And the mountain had a cave. The great serpent stole the little dragon princess and took her away. Now, normally, the princess, the dragon of the dragon people, would look very much like a human, except for maybe you'd see it in their eyes. And there, they did have wings. But they transformed. And they grew scales. Whenever they felt in trouble, they would sprout scales and claws. And the princess knew she should not leave the kingdom chasing after her sister, that would have been something the guards should have been doing. But she didn't care. Her love for her sister was stronger than any love she had known. She cherished her baby sister, and she could not find her baby sister. She went back and got the guards, and the guards went on a great hunt. Now, at this point, everybody knew that there was 1,000,003 things. There was a world full of wonder. But it was so normal that nobody wondered. The magical world was just that. There were mages, wizards, sorcery, the sorceresses of all kinds and walks and species. There was kingdoms and villages The princess got cavalry, the ones that she knew were the best. She got her strong knights to go with her. And her father rode off to the east, and the princess rode off to the west. And from their kingdom, it was a cross going always, because after the princess was taken, her sister could not find her where she figured she would be, and they didn't know other than they thought the serpent took her sister. So she went to go directly to the serpent. She could not find her sister, and in her wake she left fear. Her father hunting in the other directions, and knights hunting in even more directions. The princess, who was left blaming herself for her sister being kidnapped because she was in the tree playing hide and go seek with her. Got kind of destructive and decided she would fight the whole world to save her little sister. Now, there was a knight, and it was her betrothed. She was going to marry him when she got coronated. And he truly loved her. And when she got desperate and angry, and all she could think about was protecting and finding her sister, and she was destroying villages, she had become quite enraged. So the knight chased her down. This noble dragon knight chased her down. And she was found, and he got her back to her kingdom. But the serpent stealing her sister, and her getting angry and destroying villages and farms and the livelihood of all other beings that found their home on the same lands. Were angry, as one would be, especially when they don't understand that she was driven kind of mad at that moment. The father went to find his way to the human kingdom, where there were great mages. The dragon people could shift and change. The humans had magic. So the father, well, his daughter, he had to lock up in the tower. With barred windows to keep her and everybody safe from her. Her knight and her father, still trying to find what happened, called on the mages, and they asked to help track her, seeing, well, dragon people are known. They should be able to track their own very easily. They could not, so they had to get somebody else who had a different way, not just the sense of smell and just trusting in their gut to find what they are looking for. They said, normally dragon people are very noble. They're very intelligent. They are protectors. But because the princess was missing and her sister destroyed. Can you hand me my pliers, please?
Yep.
You really need to pay attention if you're going to help me. This is not even a reason for you just to sit out here to hang out. Thank you. So where was I? Oh yes. Princess being locked up. Father and the knight who is of noble blood himself, who was to marry said princess who's locked up. And they were trying to find her sister. Nobody could find where her sister was. And they searched and searched. One day they discovered that the serpent that took her sister was merely the kidnapper for someone else. In the kingdom of man, there was fighting. The king who was in charge and the mage who the king trusted were noblemen. The serpent, however, worked for another. He was a human. He was a sorcerer. And he was the mage's brother. He felt that he lost his calling to his brother. His brother was picked for his skill, but also his wisdom and knowledge. He was less likely to just throw something and think about it. And his brother was hot-headed, and the king decided that the sorcerer was not going to serve the kingdom as well as the mage. And the reason I'm using mage opposed to sorcerer is so there's a clear, defined understanding that these two men, even though brothers, were night and day. The princess being locked up, hitting the walls, hitting the door, trying to turn the whole tower into rubble. Because at that moment, the only thing she could see was red. The king of the humans, loaning out the mage for his wisdom and knowledge. And what they knew of the serpent and which way it went. They figured they took the youngest princess for leverage. They weren't looking at, they were thinking just a band of thugs and thieves. But what was going on, and nobody seen it coming at that moment, was a sorcerer trying to start a war between the humans and the dragon people. Both had their strengths. But he was pretty sure it would take less dragon people to destroy the kingdom than it would take of man than it would take. And he was, this will not just make me the king's right hand man. I guess you could say he sort of had a Merlin complex, maybe. But he decided he had become so greedy, he wanted it all. He wanted the kingdom and the treasure. And he was willing to destroy the world of man and use the power of any creature he could find that would do it for him. See, You sent the serpent back to the serpent's kingdom. Just how stories of the men and dragons coming after the serpents. I didn't tell them why, and it was a very specific one they were looking for. The king finally sent some troops of his own to help with finding the princess. The soon-to-be queen did destroy the door, and she flew out of that tower so fast. She found battlefields. She found destruction. And she became the epitome of fire. She changed in that moment. So this beautiful, majestic creature that was being bred to be a queen with her own armor plate naturally set siege to everything once more. She thought they had killed her father. She thought they had slain her nobleman, her knight. And the young princess, she had no hope that her sister was still alive. The innocent child. So, the rivers ran red. And what she didn't know was her father had already found her sister. And what she seen was the battle that took place. And yes, there were signs that her father and her soon-to-be king were gone. So now they had to hunt. for someone who was once joyful and charming, playful and full of life, to somebody who only seemed like. When the news got back to the kingdom of man, they had traveled as fast as their fastest horses could carry them to the dragon's kingdom. And they took the road that led up the mountain. To the most beautiful castle in the sky you would ever see. It sat on a cliff, high above so much, and it was nothing for those dragon people to fly down. The village was underneath, and it was quite a serene looking place. But when he brought the news to the king and to the knight, the father knew he had to do something. And the tower didn't hold her. And the humans knew that everybody else needed protecting. So the princess was hunted down. And she was brought back home. And when she seen her little sister running towards her, and her clothes and her claws were all drenched red with stain, she fell to her knees and she screamed with painful cry. She hugged her sister. And she knew there was a punishment for this. It cost a lot. They put her in one of the crystal caverns underneath the cliff. and then they had to separate the world. Where there was no veil. All the magicians, the wizards, the mages, created a rumble. Started deep under the ground and rose up. And it was almost like one world became two. And they stayed like that, chasing each other. The world of magical beings, and even the mages, all but the witches, who were then called healers. Had to pull things and make everybody forget this world for a time because of all the great suffering that was caused by this war. And you can't blame one or the other for what had happened, but everybody suspected it would be safer for a time. The humans not remembering. And the creatures not remembering, all these wonderful magical creatures, and they didn't remember the world of man. And the world of man didn't remember them. But one day these two worlds have no other choice but to go together as one. Because that is how they begun. Sorry. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It's just a little story. But let's get to this. So what I did, I just thought I'd tell a story. So, as you see, I put another spacer, and I'm going to let everybody know it's on this video that I showed this. Maybe I should look up the time stamp and tell them where I explain what I did. But on this one, I put it through the red bead, which was on the second tier of petals. See, that was the red bead that was there, and I put it through, and there's 5 there, 1 there. Okay, so on either side, it's 5 and 1, 5 and 1, and then the white bead in the middle. And then you just, again, like you did on the second tier, where you brought it down to the blue separator bead in the middle, and you did the same with the red between the blue ones on the second tier. That's what you did. I hope that was understood. But yeah, you just keep going on like that. Say if you want to put petals here, more petals. If you want to make this larger, it's 4, 5. You would want to use 6 on the next And that would look something like this. So we have 6 white, and we're gonna go a red one, a blue one, a red one, um, like this, just like that. And then you're gonna go with 6 more white beads. So it'll look like this. I'm glad I actually did use these ones because I do think it makes it easier to see. It also makes it easier to do if you are just starting out and you want to do something, because it is actually fairly easy to put a larger needle through larger beads. So you don't have to try to fight with a small needle, say a 12 gauge needle. I think my voice is going, but it'll be okay. There we go. And for some reason it twisted in, so I'm gonna put it back on the opposite way because you wanted to do that. Right there. And let's see how it turns out. Well, real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white, 1 red, 1 blue, again 1 red, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we got another tier to go. And again, this one goes through the blue bead at the top. You're just going to remember every time you do a tier, you want to go directly to the middle, and this is why I do that, to make it very clear where the middle is. But as you can see, it's starting to shape up. So what you would do is you do that all the way around, and then I guess the next thing I will show is how to do streamers on a piece like that with crystals dangling, and how to make it into an earring. I am going to call it. I hope everybody has a beautiful night, and I hope y'all enjoy the video if you watch it, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Much love and much peace.